It is the Commodores with
The
Night
Night
Shift.
Shift.
It's a big tune.
Yes.
It's a big tune. Bella's reminiscing about her old man. It's all happening.
I like Thursdays.
Thursdays are your best.
Yeah.
It's 11 minutes after 5 here on the Big Time on Sky Alpha HD. Remember to follow us on social media. On Facebook, we're Sky Alpha HD. On Twitter, we're Sky Alpha _HD. And on the gram, we're Sky Alpha HD _. Otherwise, go and like our page, The Big Time, on Facebook. On Twitter and Gram, we are at the Big Time 3. We're getting to know Ambassador Christian Manahl a little bit better in the off air. He's telling us some great stories. He's a 4+1 driver.
Used to be a 4+1 driver and a tractor too.
He's a retired 4+1 driver.
He's been some places.
How do you feel about driving with the 4+1s in the country?
Yeah, very comfortable.
He's been around the block.
You are a keen hiker. Is that anything to do with the projects that the European Union are involved in? Yeah.
Not directly, not really, I would say. I'm a keen hiker because I grew up in the mountains in a small village in Western Austria.
Right.
And I have been hiking wherever I had the opportunity around the world in the countries where I have surfed. And of course, Lesotho, I have to confess, when I was asked whether I would be interested in surfing in the Kingdom of Lesotho, the mountains played a significant part in
it's like a second homecoming.
In my acceptance of this post. I was quite happy that I could come here.
That's great.
We thoroughly enjoy having you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. And as I said, he's the first ambassador that we've had in...
first of many.
Yeah, the first of many. You know what? Actually, we had my dad on the show. Does that count?
Was I here?
No, when I was live from isolation.
Oh.
I had Ambassador...
no, that doesn't count.
I had Ambassador Joseph K. Mullo.
No, that doesn't count.
He was actually ambassador to Denmark a long time ago.
That's a very flat country.
It is a very flat country.
You would not be excited to go to that one.
One of the flattest. Wouldn't be my first choice in terms of...
Not gonna go hiking there.
At least we know we're top choice above Denmark, so that's great.
I was born in Denmark.
Yeah.
So it is a place that holds a special, which probably explains why running is so tough for me. It's just
okay.
Can
we continue with?
Sorry, I was getting a bit side.
Wow.
Yeah, I digress. Ambassador Manahl, what do you see as the future of the relationship of the EU and Lesotho? We've spoken extensively about our past relations and our present relations, specific to COVID and the amazing work that you guys continue to do. How do you see? You spoke about the compact being hopefully re-signed at the end of the year. What do you see this relationship look like?
Well, we hope that the relations between the European Union and the Kingdom of Lesotho will develop and deepen. As I explained earlier, for Europe, Africa becomes increasingly important. I have done all of my career in African countries, all of my international career.
Right.
And I remember when I started my career, among my diplomat colleagues, Africa was considered a sideshow. It was still at the time of the ending Cold War. Russia, the United States, China, these were the interesting postings that people were going after. I deliberately chose Africa. I started my career in Rwanda and then Mozambique and then a variety of other countries, mostly in Central and Eastern Africa. And I have seen over time the importance of Africa growing in our international partnerships to a point where I would say Africa is now among the top priorities of the European Union, and I'm convinced it will remain such for the foreseeable future. It's inevitable. We are close neighbors.
Yeah.
We have a long historic relationship, not always easy, sometimes difficult, and it's a past that we have to acknowledge and that we have to work with. But at the same time, I think the future is such that we can both sides benefit from this relationship. And the European Union considers it important to maintain a diplomatic presence and substantial cooperation in all African countries. And of course that applies to the Kingdom of Lesotho as well. I believe we have very, very good relations. It is, I have to say, relatively easy to work here. People are very friendly, very welcoming. At the political level, politicians up to the highest level are very accessible, and that makes it easy and makes it also more pleasant to work than in some other countries where my colleagues literally have to chase after the ministers to get appointments and
literally like run after on the streets.
That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
But I know that you said that with Lesotho it has been, people have been friendly and willing to work with you, but do you think that the African continent as a whole have been thus far open to the presence of the EU in their countries? Or is there still some hostility because of, past histories, etc.?
I have not experienced any such hostility, I have to say, and I believe perhaps what we are and what we stand for makes it easier for us, for the European Union, to work with African partners, with African countries. Because yes, of course, several European member states have a colonial history,
right,
which has played a role in the relations up to the present day,
Sure.
but not all of them. And the European Union doesn't stand for France or Portugal or the United Kingdom, which was but is not
Has
anymore
now
an EU
left.
member state,
Brexited.
but stands for all the EU member states and has its own treaty. We do not call it constitution, but it's the equivalent of a constitution with its objectives, which are largely reflected, I would say, in the ACP agreement and the Cotonou agreement, and we believe will be reflected in the successor agreement. We have invested a lot of political energy and time in negotiating with our African partners what our common values and our common interests are. And in that sense, perhaps the European Union, as the EU, is seen by our African partners more as an organization that looks into the future, and rather than dwelling in the past and is trying to establish these special relations which some countries may have done in the past, I think. But I see also that even those countries which, due to the colonial relationship, had special relationships with some countries on the African continent, they are increasingly coming around to the community framework of the European Union and work together with us looking into the future. And I think this is what we need to do.